After a divorce, a loss of a partner, leaving a career, or even retiring, one of the most unsettling thoughts that people can experience is, who am I now? So, if that question has been echoing in your mind for you, this is the episode for you. So, hi, I'm Kathy Mangan, and this is the next chapter on laying groundwork coaching for life's transitions. Here we focus on finding clarity, purpose, and direction after life's major changes. So I think it's important to recognize that we many times, unconsciously, most of the time, honestly, define ourselves by the roles that we play. So we define ourselves by who we are in our marriage and our profession and our even our daily structure. And so, with these roles change, if something ends or completely transitions, it really kind of feels like the ground that we've been standing on just disappears, kind of like the shifting sands under our feet. This is not at all a weakness. This is completely normal. It's our biology and it's our psychology. So it's important to recognize that even though it can feel like somebody just kind of like took your legs out from under you and left blankness, the blankness, although terrifying, it is completely honest. A lot of times in this kind of feeling empty and trying to avoid that feeling of empty, we tend to try to jump into a new identity too quickly. And that is really kind of an avoidant trying to, run away from fear, which is, again, completely normal. So this might look like, job hopping. This might be really overfilling your schedule, just trying to find something that makes you feel like you're on solid ground again. So, this is this idea that if we can give ourselves a little bit of space, even though we want relief from this feeling of emptiness because it's uncomfortable, that we often, many times, find ourselves building our next chapter kind of out of panic and fear rather than out of truth. Okay. So, it's like actually looking at this change as a threshold into whatever's next, not a void that you're trying to fill. So kind of recognizing that yes, you've lost this version of yourself, however you were identifying yourself in the role that has changed for you. And can we look at the opportunity that something else is waiting to unfold for us? So I want to take us through a quick exercise that will help you to find some solid ground and create a foundation for whatever is next for you in the role that has changed for you. Okay. So I'm going to have you get something to write on and something to write with. Okay. So having that, I'm going to ask you some questions, and that after each question, please feel free to pause this video, answer the question. I will be here when you get back. Okay? All right. So the first thing I want you to do here in this exercise is to make a list of all of the roles that have changed for you. With this transition that's happened in your life, what roles changed? Was it your role as a spouse or someone's partner? Was it the role as an employee or a manager? Was it a role as a caregiver? What is it that changed? What roles changed for you? Go ahead and pause the video. I'll be here when you get back. So now that you have this list, what we want to look at is what are the qualities that I brought to these roles? What did I bring to each of these roles that has shifted for me? So it could be that you were always curious, that you brought this ever present sense of curiosity to this role, that you were really, really steady, that people could count on you, that you were dependable, that you were creative, that you were loyal. So go ahead and pause the video and just make a list of all of the qualities that you brought to all of those roles. And then now that you have those qualities, what I'd like you to do is just circle the ones that are still true, regardless of this change in role that you might be experiencing. Okay. The idea here is to recognize that the roles may end, qualities never do. So these are the things that are deeply valuable and important to you as far as your how you kind of define yourself and really run your life. So these are the things that you express yourself through all of the roles that you play in your life. So keeping in mind that these are qualities that are enduring, they stay with you always, and that you have those with you to begin to build a firm foundation. Okay. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about grieving the life you thought you'd have. So a lot of us have big plans for it's going to look like this, and this. And if that doesn't play out that way, or if something changes, that many times that is kind of what's kind of hiding underneath this idea of identity lost. So if you're in a major life transition, please subscribe, like this channel, and we'll walk through all of this together. Thanks so much and take good care.